Hey everyone, welcome back to Corporate Decoder. Today we're diving into a filing from BioAtla, a company trying to fight diseases with some pretty cool science. This report has some bonus news for the top folks and a shareholder meeting where some decisions were made. Get ready because we're about to decode what it all means and what it says about the direction of the company. Before we start, if you appreciate getting straight insights from corporate documents, make sure you're subscribed. We also have a Discord community linked in the description below where you can share your comments and questions about all things business. Let's kick things off with some good news for the big bosses at BioAtla. On June 17, 2025, the people in charge of doling out the cash, the compensation committee, gave the thumbs up to a 2025 bonus plan. This plan is for the top dogs, including the CEO, CFO, and other important executives who are all part of the fun. It's a way to reward them if the company hits certain goals. How do these bonuses work? Well, the executives can earn extra cash if BioAtla performs well. There are a few performance goals, each with a different weight. Clinical development milestones or progress and trials account for 25% of the bonus calculation. Financing objectives such as raising money make up a whopping 50%. Then there are financial and people objectives which count for 20%, and finally brand awareness goals clock in at 5%. The amount of bonus that they get depends whether BioAtla achieves the previously mentioned goals. They are all measured independently of each other, but if the company doesn't reach at least 50% of the combination of the weighted goals, overall they don't get anything. If they clear the 50% threshold, the payouts can range from 50% to 125% of the target bonus, depending on performance. Like are all measured independently of each other, but if the company doesn't reach at least 50% to 45% of the target bonus, depending on performance. Now let's look at who gets these bonuses and how much they're worth. The bonus is calculated as a percentage of each executive's base salary. The head honcho, that is the chief executive officer, Jay Short, gets 60% of his salary as a bonus amount. Next is Richard Waldron, the chief financial officer, and Eric Sievers, the chief medical officer. They each get 40% of their salary as a bonus, which isn't bad at all. To calculate the bonus by the percentage achieved based on the weighted goals. Switching gears now, let's turn to the annual meeting of stockholders. This meeting happened on June 18, 2025, and it was held online. About 52% of all the shares that could vote were represented either physically or by proxy, meaning there was a quorum, so whatever happens counts. In other words, over half of the shareholder votes needed to make decisions were there. The first order of business was electing directors. Stockholders voted for 3 directors to join the board for the next 3 years. Those elected were Mary Ann Gray, Susan Moran, and Lawrence Steinman. I won't bore you with the raw vote counts, but the important thing is they got the votes they needed. Next, stockholders had to give a thumbs up or thumbs down to Ernst & Young LLP, the independent accounting firm, for the year ending in December 2025. Seems that investors were okay with that, so they ratified that choice. The tally was overwhelmingly in favor with over 30 million votes for and only about 137,000 against. There were a little over 12,000 abstentions, but that didn't really change the fact that the votes for Ernst & Young prevailed. The last item on the agenda was a non-binding advisory vote. That's a fancy way of saying the stockholders got to share their thoughts on how much the top executives were getting paid. Again, this part is advisory. While most of the votes were in favor of the executive compensation, it wasn't a landslide because a lot of votes were withheld. This means the stockholders weren't thrilled with the amounts, but those votes didn't change anything. Now, let's talk about the story, the big picture for BioAtla. These bonuses for the executive officers means the company wants to keep its key players motivated towards achieving the goals they set out for the company in 2025. In short, the company is trying to incentivize high performance and retain its best people. It is a way for companies to attract and retain talented employees, especially in competitive industries. As for the approval the stockholders gave regarding the election of directors and appointment of the accounting firm, it shows that there is a bit of a consensus in the company between the leaders and shareholders, even if the vote on executive pay wasn't a complete success. Companies always have ups and downs, and it looks like BioAtla's executive bonuses and meeting actions are the result of trying to fix the downs and repeat the ups. Alright, that's our breakdown of BioAtla's latest filing. What's your take on these numbers and what they signal for the company's future? Drop your thoughts in the comments. If this analysis was valuable, hitting that like button really helps, and subscribe for more deep dives. Don't forget to check out the Discord in the description. Thanks for watching, see you next time.